Welcome to Stop Dieting and Start Living podcast. I am your coach, Natalia Rodriguez, and I will be guiding you to get in the best shape of your life for the rest of your life by combining my coaching experience with the psychology behind the human eating behaviors and some simple brain science. Get ready to be coached by me. Hello, beautiful people. I am super excited to be here in another episode. This took me more time and effort than expected, but it comes from my heart, so I hope you enjoy it. Today, I want to share a bit with you how the journey of stopping dieting and start living looks like, at least for me and my clients. But let's first talk about why diets don't work and why they are the number one reason for weight regain. So you probably dieted before, and perhaps it worked for a while. That is why many keep trying dieting year after year, right? So you think and believe that this is the only way to lose weight. But have you ever thought why you find yourself dieting over and over, year after year? Because why do you want to lose weight only for a wedding or for a summer? Wouldn't it be nice to be in a good shape all year round? And the best part, you don't have to worry about that ever again. That's why diets don't work. A diet may help you for a little while, and perhaps if you have a specific condition as well. Although for many people, myself included, diets have a problem that comes later. Diet mess up with your mind, with your self-esteem. What is healthy about feeling bad for eating a piece of bread or feeling good for eating a salad? Diets create in your mind a restriction approach. The all or none mentality creates you to have fear over certain types of foods, make you to see foods as good or bad, separates you from your hunger cues. And after all of that, you regain the weight and start developing a hatred feeling against your body. And either you freak out and keep dieting, or you end up gaining even more weight. Most of my clients develop feelings over food. They feel bad because they could not keep their diet, like feeling they have not enough willpower or the capacity to take care of themselves, which is completely unreal. That's not true. All of these are caused from dieting. It doesn't measure a person's willpower, strength, or capacity to take care of themselves at all. And also, feeling bad for eating a pizza or some potatoes. Guys, tell me please, what is healthy about that? So diets exist as a way to heal people, but that doesn't work for everyone. And that should be also taken into consideration. And I don't want to think they did this intentionally. If they did, they are monsters. But nowadays, by recommending a diet, many people can create easily eating disorders, and that as well have a huge impact on a person's quality of life. Like living constantly thinking about food, wanting to shrink their bodies more and more, and it becomes a vicious cycle where self-esteem and confidence affects one's life. And so I ask myself, what is healthy about that? So the idea of dieting comes from thoughts of looking for a certain body shape. So many people I know, they look good already, but they want more because I used to think like that unconsciously, and because it is society accepted, we want to look as the woman in the magazine because we believe fat is bad, unhealthy, or look gross, and we should not look like that. What I mean, that if you don't love yourself when you weigh 80 kilos, what makes you think you love yourself when you weigh 50? I've been there, skinny with a six-pack, but battling with my body every day, obsessed about food and letting food rule my world. From places I visit, the social life I was having, and the clothes I was wearing. So you may think you will be happy with a six-pack, but perhaps, who knows, your body not. So you will battle because your body is a part of you. And in a way, he knows what is best for you to function properly. So yes, you can restrict your calories intentionally, but probably you can get to a point where you will have a very poor healthy life, feeling tired, cold, hungry, lack of energy constantly. I've been there myself, and that is not healthy anymore. So everyone has a set body weight point, thinner than others or vice versa. But when you reach that point, usually it is similar to when you were a child, your body will function well, and so will you. Your mind is an organ and a muscle as well. And diets mess up big time with that one. So you need to take care of your mind too. What are you constantly thinking about? What are your beliefs? Challenge the way you think by reading and learning. My point here is bodies need fat to live, some more than others. And that is what I'm talking about today. We need to reach the point where we feel okay and our bodies too. And that comes from self-love, searching a way to get to know ourselves better. There is a new wave of eating intuitively to stop dieting, right? And it seems so perfect. Also a wave about normalizing bodies, which is amazing. And we need to work hard to rewire our brains to believe we all are different. And if you don't love yourself today, what makes you think you will be when you come thinner? So start working on that area now before thinking about shrinking your body by dieting or doing surgeries. If you don't do that work now, chances are that sooner or later you will have to face them to find your true self. Otherwise, the sad truth is that you will hate your body and diet until your last day on earth, which is very sad. Don't you agree? But all that intuitive eating and accepting yourself, let me be clear with this. It is not about eating whatever shitty foods around you and letting yourself go. Because then you will fall into the other extreme and you won't feel comfortable with that either. I've been there too. So everyone knows what they should be doing. They should be eating veggies, protein, fruits. But the restriction part of what diets do are making people overeat and overdo it at the beginning of the process. And everyone fears to do this work. So one thing you have to know, it will take you some time to get your own normal body weight. You need to have patience and trust yourself. A lot of journaling, self-questioning, and if possible, some professional accountability is highly recommended. Especially if, like me, you are a pro-dieter that is constantly thinking about food, overeating, and binging. Because it is not just about eating everything uncontrollably, thinking it is okay to eat whatever whenever you feel like it and when you want it, and then have to accept the fact that you're going to have excess of fat forever. Because it's nothing like that. On the contrary, following some guidelines and habit ideas as a natural slim person develop it, that is proven, and when you find yourself eating for other reasons than hunger, questioning what's going on and trying to work through it. It is simple, but a very hard work that sometimes can be painful because we will need to accept many of our deepest fears, emotions, and trauma. Here, that plays a big part, and many are not willing to do that work. But the good part, you will heal, and there is when you start living and experiencing the life you are at. You will make the most out of your days without worrying about your pants size anymore or what you have for lunch or dinner, and realizing when you are eating in ways that won't make you feel good, and those are the behaviors that you will be able to keep for long term instead of having a meal plan. As contradictory and that may seem easier, but as you have seen your friends, perhaps your mom, your grandma, even yourself, diets don't allow us to experience the world and make us feel happy. Just make us feel fearful and scared of food and more self-conscious about what others think about us, less confident, and that is not what we want for us or for our children. Why not to stop that now and learn to follow what feels right from a place of self-love and self-discipline and spread it to the world? So you want to learn to know when to eat and what to eat and how much to eat. Then your real body shape will come up. That, as I say before, usually very similar to the one you had when you were growing up. And usually it can actually get better if you do exercise. That influences your body shape. That is why people is obsessed about exercise. But I really encourage you to love exercise for what it does to your body and not in a physical way. Like, please stop seeing exercise as a weight loss tool. Do it for the non-sexy reasons. Being able to walk pain-free, being able to run after your kids, not having back pain after work, having a healthier respiratory system as a way of relieving stress. So what I'm talking here is that we want to build some habits. As remember my previous episode when I interviewed Lisa, a natural slim woman who takes care of herself, and her shape is simply a result of self-love and self-discipline, and that she was tired of people telling her that it's her genetics and is her metabolism. So she's not following any diets or any rules. She just do what she has to do to take care of herself. So if you haven't, go back and check it out. It's a good episode. So those habits, in order to work, they need to be internalized normalized, not demanded as another diet, because first of all, that mindset and thoughts are the ones we want to erase from our heads, especially to disconnect from the goal of being skinny or thin. I got into personal training because fitness in a way saved me from depression. And after seeing the effects of sports in me, I wanted to help others. Also because as many things in life, the circumstances allow me to shift my career from marketing to fitness. I always felt that helping people in a way was my calling, so I pursued that. But the fitness get me into bodybuilding, and then the obsession to pursue a thinner body came when I started diet. The reality about life and body shape started to blur for me. When I started training people, I realized that people were not having the same results. They came for 1 hour personal training at the gym, but most of the times they all came tired, exhausted, worried. And the personal training became more like a psychology session for many. A few had an amazing result, but only the ones that were taking care of themselves during the time they were not training, so the other 23 hours on the day, with things like sleeping well, eating when needed, managing stress, but literally just a few of them. So most of them didn't actually know how to do that. So then is when I started shifting my personal training more into coaching, because I felt that the help people needed was not only about training, also because they came only looking for a body shape that they've lost over the years because they didn't know how to cope with the stress, worries, anxiety. So for many, when life was good, they stopped working out. But when life got crappy, they came back and saw their weight. So instead of keep trying to help people with only training, why not to help people to manage their stress, their anxiety, and so on with habits that they can keep forever on the good times or in the bad times of life, and they can really experience life better. I saw and experienced how that shaped the feelings toward us, how we see the world, and how those things we keep transmitting to our friends and kids without even realizing. So then is when I learned that what you do during the day is more important than just doing 1 hour of training a day. And that actually both things were connected, but not as many people think. It is unbelievable how many still believe food and exercise is the only way to lose weight and be healthy. But the truth is that the mental side of it play a big role in that equation, especially your overall well-being. So it is more than eat good and move more if you want to have a healthy weight. And most important, a good quality of life. What I'm going with this is that since a year ago, I decided to stop dieting. I tried on my own and I thought I was doing great, trying all the habits of a slim person at the same time. But the reality was I was still secretly dieting, overeating, sabotaging myself, like telling myself no constantly to other type of foods, avoiding as much as possible restaurants because I used to think food there sucked because they put too much oil and butter. So I was still focused on the ingredients and not in the experience itself. Also, when I went to any restaurant, I was eating less calories possible. And when coming home, I was overeating my healthy foods like yogurt and berries, rice crackers. And you know why? I was doing all of that because I was still looking for that body shape. I was still eating and working out to compensate my eating with things like, okay, I overate today, tomorrow I will go jogging. I will do a hard session and lift heavy or do leg day. And those thoughts were not going anywhere. And thinking that just now eating whatever will make the trick, as I was seeing other people doing it on Instagram. So I spent a good 8 months in that cycle until I started working with Leslie. As I commented before, I joined her Friends with Benefits coaching program. And by following the habits in a small doses, I started realizing how much I am still focusing on diet, restriction, overtraining, and that I wasn't truly getting experience out of life. Years of dieting and thinking and believing such things, also seeing people around us wishing for a liposuction or skipping bread, making it harder. We start second guessing how gaining some weight now is going to make me feel better later. Because chances are that when you start recovering from dieting, you will gain some weight or not, depending where you are at. But that could happen. Also, I was able to help others through that cycle, but I was not helping myself. For me, emotionally was harder. I was too much involved. Self-compassion was my missing part, allowing myself to fail and try again with a different strategy. And I have many friends and clients that believe they are not dieting anymore, but they still hate their bodies, hate their arms and legs and belly. And there is when I know they are still with this mindset, because it is not just about eating whatever. It is to get to the point to love yourself so much as you love your son, your mom, your grandmother, that you will take care of you effortlessly, that you won't want to change anything about you. But then is when magic happens and you will get to the best body shape ever, because you will be acquiring the habits of a natural slim person because you want it with all your heart, because genuinely it feels right. Natural slim people generally feel good, and that is why they don't feel hard following some guidelines. Although they have and see their flaws, they just don't focus on that, and they keep showing up for themselves and honoring their bodies no matter what. The way we feel about food is a very sensitive topic, and you will only know it when you start for real to listen to your body. Start being aware of how you feel when you eat just enough, or how it feels to walk away from your favorite fruits when you already had enough. You see, you need to be ready to receive the message. As me, you need to be desperate and tired to get out of that cycle of gaining, losing weight, and especially feeling shitty about you and your body. If you still hate your body, be kind to yourself. Life is not about how others or the mirror sees you. It is how we feel within us. And if you don't know where to start feeling. Focus on the present moment. Eat slowly and without distractions. How that feels to you. What have you noticed? Did you need all the food in the plate? Did you need it more? How's your belly feeling? Are you happy with the foods you choose to eat? I believe in you. Thank you for listening, and I hope you liked this episode. And if you did, please leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. That will support my cause, that is to impact as many of you to stop dieting and start living. For more information, you can find the link in the episode notes. I am also very active on Instagram, where you will find tons of information. Have a great one. Lots of love. Your coach, Na.